Hello, this is Tom Gavin with Paratech, coming to you from the Fire Department Instructors Conference 2015 in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're going to talk today a little bit about the Paratech Rescue Struts. As you see here, we have a rescue strut right now being used to stabilize a car. This rescue strut is part of one of our rescue strut kits that we use for vehicle stabilization. Although the same exact strut can also be used in a trench rescue or in a building collapse. It's basically a multi-purpose unit. All you have to do to change disciplines is change heads. So let's talk a little bit here about the vehicle stabilization. We start with a multi-base head. The multi-base head has four functions. It can be used like this through a hole in the glass to capture sheet metal. I can also put it through a hole in the sheet metal. It has a V-base. I can put the V-base into a right angle to capture the load, and it also works as a wedge. But the most interesting thing about it is it has a little notch in here, and the notch is designed to hold 3/8" chain. So if you have rescue rated chain, Schedule 80, Schedule 100 chain, 3/8 inch, you can use it with this to sling heavy loads. I can put this in a U shape and actually capture this vehicle from both sides, or I can capture a tractor trailer. So let's talk about the strength of the strut. All of the struts that are out on the market have certain strengths to them. And what determines the strength of a strut are two basic things. One is columnar diameter, or length to diameter ratio. The longer you make something in relationship to its diameter, the less load it can hold. And that's everybody's strut. Okay, so we have a large diameter here. It's 3-inch diameter. So we have a lot of area. The actual tube part you see here, that's actually made of extruded material. Okay, so it's not a piece of pipe. So it has even walls, so that gives it extra strength. And then also the second thing that's really important is surface area. So on the Paratech struts, we do not use a pin system, ever. A pin system relies on holes and a small pin. Remember surface area. What happens with a small pin? Very little surface area to hold the load. If you look at these struts right here, this is called an Acme thread strut. It has Acme threads here. It's kind of like a screw thread, but it's not that tapered. But this has two parallel rows of thread. One starts here and one starts there. That gives us 2 inches of surface area. So rather than controlling that load or holding that load with a fraction of an inch on a pin system, we have 2 inches of surface area. All right, so the material, basically the tubing, it's not pipe. The fact that we have all this surface area between the thread area and the lock nut and the diameter of the system makes it the strongest system on the market today. Now this is just one part of our highway vehicle stabilization kit. The vehicle stabilization kit comes with 4 struts. There are 2 of them that are 25 to 36 inches. So this is 25 inches collapsed that will extend out to 36 inches. There is also a load chart on every Paratech strut, and the load chart will tell you what the strut can hold, completely collapsed to fully extended with a maximum of 3 foot of extension on it. So there's no guesswork in the middle of a rescue. You can come over to the load chart and determine what you can hold and what you can't hold. And if the strut's not strong enough to hold what you want to hold, you can put in 2 struts. But this strut, as it is, can hold 80,000 pounds up to 4 foot. That's 80,000 pounds, okay? That's 20,000 pounds with a 4-to-1 safety factor. So nobody else has a strut that has that kind of strength. I told you we could add extensions to the strut. 2 simple rules with extensions. One, they never go on the thread or the removable end. And secondly, you can attach 2 extensions to a maximum of 36 inches, whichever comes first. So again, 2 extensions up to 36 inches. So if you take a look down here, we have a 12-inch and a 24-inch extension added to the bottom of the strut. So the 25 to 36 inch strut, if we extend it to 36, add 3 foot of extension to it, this strut can go up to 6 foot. Okay, the next thing you want to look at is the base at the bottom. We use a large 12 by 13 inch base because, again, we want to spread the load out. In any kind of shoring, we want to capture the load, we want to support the load with our strut, but we want to transfer the load back to the ground, and we do this with the large base plate. Now, this large base plate has a lot of advantages to it. You'll notice on each side there are 4 large holes. They can take up to 1-inch rebar or 1-inch pickets, okay, so we can pin this to the ground. Again, by pinning it to the ground, what are we doing? We're transferring the load to the ground. There's also a small hole here where we can actually nail it into the ground. Let's say we had it on a wood surface. And then there's also small holes right here. Those small holes right there are used with healthy concrete anchors. So if I had to set this up on a highway that had concrete instead of blacktop, I could actually drill through here and attach the Hilti bolts or Hilti anchors to it and support it that way. Right now what we're doing is we're building a tensioned buttress system. The strut itself acts as the buttress, and we have to tension it back. So we're using ratchet straps right here, and we're using the ratchet straps to tension this back to something solid on the car. What's happening when we do vehicle stabilization, the key point is to get your point of contact where you're going to support the load above the vehicle's center of gravity. Okay, it's just simple math. If we get this above the center of gravity, there's not enough force to move this part of the car above our contact point. So very important we get it above the center of gravity so we come in high on the car and stabilize it there. So now we could stabilize it. Now we could use a lifting device if we needed to lift it up. So we actually have a Hydra fusion strut right here. And the Hydra fusion strut is a hybrid. It's a crossover between a strut and a hydraulic ram. So we built a hydraulic ram onto the inside of this device here. So this is a 3.5-inch diameter strut with a 3-inch piston, okay, and a hydraulic pump. So the hydraulic pump puts hydraulic pressure into here, pushes the piston up. So again, it'll lift 20,000 pounds. And what we've got right here is a lock collar, and the lock collar is a safety. So this hydraulic ram has got a safety built into it, and the safety is rated at 4 times the lifting capacity. So the lifting capacity of the ram is 10 tons or 20,000 pounds. The lock collar is rated at 40,000 pounds. So as this goes up, the old adage, live it an inch, crib an inch. So as we're lifting up with this pump, and we're lifting up with this. So as we go up, and we lift, as you can see here, we're going up. We're starting to lift the car. You see the gap right here? Okay. Now all I do is go like that, and I'm safe. All right. Now if I were to release this load, the car would not come down. It's locked in the safety system. To release the system, it's quite simple. I'm going to come back here, take a little gap right there, and I'll open this up by turning it counterclockwise, and very slowly, the load comes down. Okay, and we locked. So it's a super simple system to use, very easy to teach a fire department how to use it. So let's talk about that highway kit again. It's our most popular kit. It has 2 of the struts, they're 25 to 36 inches, 2 struts that are longer, 37 to 58. It comes with 2 1-foot extensions, 2 2-foot extensions, 2 3-foot extensions, 4 of the large ground pads, 4 of the ratchet straps, 4 of the multi-bases.